communication from David Kirkpatrick. He's the Executive Director of Cheshire TV, and it's relative to the proposed termination of their contract.
And this one I'll be referring to the city manager, who really has the responsibility to negotiate these ongoing contracts.
Your Honor, just a point of order.
Yeah, Councilor Filio?
Yeah, I happened to get a text from Mr. Kirkpatrick tonight, and his whole purpose here was because he wanted to be able to speak to the full council. He's felt like with such a serious issue going on that most of the council hadn't heard at least that side of the story. And so he was hoping, and his request was, by meeting a public hearing, that we would send it to committee so he could speak to the full council, in person. And I think we ought to honor his request in the act of transparency, because that's the intent of what the letter writer wanted. I really feel we should send this to committee to give him that opportunity to speak to us.
Well, we thought about this a little bit, and I would equate it to some other kind of a variety of contracts that the city manager is really responsible for overseeing. And we can't really, it's not in the council's purview to examine those ongoing contracts.
But Your Honor, his purpose was that he wanted to speak to us. He mentioned about the contract. He wanted to speak to the full council. I don't know what his full intent was, but he wanted the opportunity to speak to council at committee.
Councilor, you're welcome to make a motion if you like, but my action here is to refer it to the city manager's office.
Well, based on the right of repeal in section 13 of the rules of order, I challenge the chair.
And I second that motion. Councilor Greenwald seconds.
All right, we have a motion and a second to challenge the ruling of the chair. Councilor Filio?
Simple, Your Honor. Transparency. We have a petitioner who's asked to speak to the council. Whenever any of our constituents ask to speak to us, we should have full transparency and allow them to do that. To simply send it to city staff buries it. And we're here to represent every citizen of the city of Keene. And when one of our citizens asks to speak to us, we should grant them that request. It's simple. It's the right thing to do. It's a transparent thing to do. Anything else lacks transparency.
My counter argument would be that we entrust the city manager with the responsibility of overseeing contracts for the city. That's not a responsibility that the city council has. And I think it would be an overstep for us to get involved in that way, or for the council to get involved in that way. And I see the city manager wants to speak to this. I'd offer her that opportunity.
A point of order.
Point of order, the city manager cannot speak to this. Only you and I make a comment, and then it goes straight to a vote to the council per section 13 of the right of appeal.
If you want to go that way, then we'll do that.
That's the rules of order, Your Honor. That's not my way.
My only other comment would be that the reason for sending this to staff is the letter specifically addresses and calls out the ongoing contract. So if there is some other interest in how Cheshire TV, the arrangement between the city and Cheshire TV or something like that should be done, Councilor Filio or anyone else is willing to, or totally free to send a letter into the council saying that they want to examine the relationship between the city and Cheshire TV. Because this letter only calls out the contract, that's how it would be noticed if we sent it to committee. And I don't think it would be an appropriate conversation to have. So I welcome anyone who wants to talk about the relationship between the city and Cheshire TV, a bit of a broader conversation that would not be related to this contract, to submit a letter to that effect. With that, we'll go to the challenge of the chair. If you vote yes, that is affirming my decision to send it to the city staff. If you vote no, then that is agreeing with Councilor Filio that we should take some other sort of action. Councilor Hooper, please start us out with your name and your vote.
Councilor Hooper, yes.
Councilor Remy, yes.
Counselor Manwaring, yes.
Counselor Giacomo, yes.
Councilor Filio, no.
Counselor Williams, no.
Philip M. Jones, no.
Counselor Johnson, yes.
Counselor Madison, yes.
Counselor Ormrod, yes.
Counselor Chadbourne, yes.
Counselor Workman, yes.
Counselor Greenwald, no.
You hear that?
Counselor Bosley, yes.
Counselor Powers, yes.
I did. I just want to confirm, Counselor Greenwald, that was a no?
That is correct.
Okay.
No.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 2, 3, 4.
I've recorded 11 yes, 4 no. So the ruling of the chair is upheld.